Hey everybody, it's Amber. Welcome back to my channel. I am here on a Thursday again filming while my kids are in co-op, so that would explain the background behind me. But it's kind of been on my heart a lot lately about the first year postpartum. And I have a cousin who is pregnant with her first baby, and I was talking to her a few weeks ago and told her that, I don't like people whenever someone is pregnant and you hear people like give them all the horror stories. I don't think that's right, because pregnancy and delivery does not have to be like that. I think that pretty much everybody knows, a lot of the normal aches and pains and different things like that that go on with pregnancy. So I don't really feel like that has to be highlighted. But one thing that is not often talked about is the year after you have a baby. And for me, that's always been the most difficult part. And I was trying to express this to her, and one of my sisters was standing there, and she made a comment along the lines of that I was not making a very good case for that because I had done it 4 times, so how hard could it be? And I was talking to Mike the other night and really trying to express, because there's a whole lot of feelings and thoughts that I have when it comes to pregnancy and childbirth and that first year with an infant. And so it's kind of hard for me to express that. And I think it's kind of hard for someone to understand that who hasn't been there. And my cousin who's pregnant with her first, she obviously has not been there. But the reason why I've done it 4 times, although I would say that first year is always ridiculously hard for me, is because I love being pregnant and the experience of childbirth so much that I have been willing to endure the first year 4 times. But I think I'm at a point now, I'm 36 years old, and I don't know that I would want to do that again. The pregnancy part, the childbirth part, sure. The first year, not so much. So today is April the 12th. So Julian turned a year old on April the 7th. So we are 5 days past his first birthday, and it's amazing how that year mark, I don't know if it's a mental thing, I don't know what it is, but I already feel myself changing back more human, if that would even make sense, in the past 5 days. I feel happier. I feel more rested. And he's been sleeping through the night for a little while now, so it's not that. But I don't know. I don't really know if you could describe. You probably could. And I actually have... I'm going to start working with a counselor. I honestly think that I have been experiencing postpartum depression for the past year. And I think that I had it after Darian was born. I know that I had it after Lindy was born, because I actually saw a therapist then and was diagnosed with postpartum depression. And I believe that I had it the year after Evan was born as well. But for me, I don't really start feeling symptoms of that until they're about 2 months old. And then it runs from about 2 months until 12 months, or even a little longer in the case of Lindy. But so that's a hard thing, because it doesn't matter if you deliver with a midwife at home like I did, or in a birth center, or with an OB in a hospital. Your 6 weeks postpartum checkup is it. And then you don't see them anymore. So this provider, whether it's a doctor or a midwife that you've built this relationship with for 9 months, you might see them a week or 2 after you have the baby, and then 6 weeks after you have the baby, and that's it. And they'll screen you for postpartum depression at your 6-week checkup. But what if you're like me and you don't show symptoms of that, or you don't start feeling those things until after that 6-week checkup? Then what? And it's kind of a tricky thing, because you don't always realize it. even for somebody like me who, I was a labor and delivery nurse, I am a labor doula right now. When you are in that, when you are in the very thick of, dealing with a baby, and even, whether that baby, is a happy baby and doesn't have any problems eating or no health problems or nothing like that, or you're dealing with colic, or your child has health problems. It doesn't matter, what the situation is. It could be the best anybody could imagine, or it could be the worst. You still have those hormones and those things going on in your body. And when you're in the middle of that, whatever it is, you may not realize, hey, this could be postpartum depression. I might need to see somebody about this. So for me, what I have experienced, and it's fresh on my mind because, of having Julian, but when you wake up, almost every day, and even if your child is sleeping through the night and you never feel rested, like I felt more tired than before I went to bed. And waking up and feeling like every day is Groundhog Day, like it's the same thing over and over, and then it's never going to get any better. And you just realize that there's no joy, there's no happiness. Things that I used to enjoy, like I used to do a painting class every week, and really look forward to that. I haven't done that in over a year. I have no desire. Well, the desire is coming back to do that. I had no desire for this first year, and it wasn't because of not, having the time to go. With Julian, the issues with him breastfeeding, and I will link it above if you haven't seen those videos, but the benefit of him not latching is that I was not tied to him 24 hours a day. So I had to pump, and we were supplementing. So I could leave Julian with Mike and I could go do something. And it wasn't like it was with Evan and Lindy and Darian, where I was their sole source of nutrition and they didn't take a bottle. So I could have been going to painting class. I could have found another hobby or another way to get me out of the house, because I actually had the freedom to do that this time, but I had no desire to do that. It's just the constant feelings of sadness and knowing that there's something wrong. And I can't tell you the number of things that I have tried hoping to fix this. Back in November, I started Plexus for the gut healing properties, thinking that maybe I had some crazy imbalance that was contributing to this, because that's a fact. If you have a gut imbalance, if you have, too much yeast, or, the bad bacteria outnumber the good bacteria, that can have a big impact on your mental health. And so I started that, and it felt like it got better for a while, but then it kind of got worse again, despite still taking the same supplements. So I don't know. And there have been like different herbs and different things I have tried, and just nothing has worked. So that's what really recently got me to thinking, like, this probably is postpartum depression, because nothing I'm trying is working. Just the feelings of sadness and knowing that I didn't feel like this before, and that this is not me, if that makes sense. So, and I don't think I can really describe the weight of this unless you've experienced it. It's like you don't want to go out of your house, and there are so many things that compound on this. Like, I am 20 pounds heavier now than I was the day he was born, and that weight has been put on, throughout the breastfeeding journey, and I probably am done pumping unless I feel like, there's a clog or something going on in there from stopping. I probably won't be pumping again. So there was those hormones going on, and the inability to lose weight, and the fact that I actually gained weight. And then, in the beginning, Julian had colic, and then trying to homeschool, like all these things compounded to make this a really difficult situation. And if you are currently pregnant, you have your own set of circumstances, and you will have, different things change. And in your life, I just want you to know that that different things can come together, and it kind of makes this whole thing that, depending on what your situation is, it can really impact you on top of the hormones and just kind of make this mess. And I was reading an article on this recently, and it talked about one of the biggest factors in the risk of postpartum depression is a person's lack of a support system. So for me, I don't have family immediately where I live. My family and Mike's family, and when I say my family, and this has been an issue here recently, I refer to like my side of the family and Mike's side of the family. But anyway, they both live about an hour and a half from where we are. When I had Julian, we had just started going to a different church. So we did not even have an established church family. And there's a lot of hurt that goes along with that, because we reached out to them and asked for help, told them, he came 3 weeks early. I wasn't ready. I didn't have any food. We don't have family here. I didn't have any food prepared. And in a good sized church, we had 3 people to volunteer to help. So that's not a lot. So I was back in the kitchen preparing meals before Julian was even a week old. And I really felt let down by that. And I felt like that kind of started the ball rolling. And that's something that I'm trying to work on healing from and letting that go. But, when you don't have family around, when you don't have a church family you can depend on, I have no idea what that was. When you don't have a good, a solid network of friends that you can reach out to, it's even more difficult. But because it feels like you and, your husband and your children are in this little bubble all by yourself, and that you're alone. And so mentally, that has not helped me over the past year either. So I just want to share this with you. I don't really know at this point that I have any advice, really, or any tips, other than just to know and to be prepared mentally that if you're pregnant, just to look out for this, because, I've talked to some people and I know that always what you see, like different people here on YouTube who have had babies and who appear to be happy, and that, the whole thing did not affect them at all negatively, as far as postpartum depression goes, that can sometimes be just a facade that they're putting on to try to make it look like they're okay. I know I paint that picture a lot, and there may be people watching this who know me personally that are surprised by some of the things I'm saying, because outwardly I try to make it look like I'm okay. I feel like, what other choice do I have? I can't walk around here crying all the time. And I guess also, if you're watching this, just be aware, if you have people, family, friends, church family who have had a baby or who are pregnant, be aware of this, because chances are they're probably going to need more help than they will ever let on. And the fact, like when Julian was born and I reached out and asked for help, that took a lot for me to do that. And then when I didn't get very much help at all, that kind of made me withdraw and not want to ask for help in the future. So I know for me, it's made me more, aware of other people's situations, because I don't want anyone else to ever feel like I did that first month after Julian was born, where I felt like I just wasn't supported at all. So just be aware of that. And, like I said, if you're pregnant, if you start feeling like this, don't be afraid to reach out to somebody, your midwife, your doctor. Find a counselor who specializes in postpartum depression. That is the step that I have taken to try to find somebody to talk to. So anyway, I just wanted to let you know that we are upwards of 15 minutes now, so I'm going to let you go. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comment section if you have dealt with postpartum depression, and how you handle that. And if you're pregnant, especially with your first, and you just don't know what to expect, I'd love to open up a conversation in the comment section. And until next time, I'll talk to you later. God bless. Bye.